What's going on, guys? Spartan Willie here, and welcome to a video on Cyberpunk 2077. This is a very well documented game by now, and we're only 24 hours into it. I was going to do a walkthrough on this game, but I figured that it would be so much content already being made on it that it'll just be saturated as. So I decided not to do a walkthrough on it, but I'm really excited about this game. And I just wanted to sort of go through and give you some of my thoughts. There'll probably be so many first impressions out there, but I'll give my 2 cents. So yeah, of course there'll be no spoilers in this first impressions. I'm just going to give you a bunch of things I love about this game, areas of improvement, and if you're looking at buying it, whether or not you should buy it or not. I've put about 5 hours into the game, so I haven't played that much of it, but I've got a bunch of sort of little pointers for people who've played more than me, so I'll be incorporating their opinions as well. Now, just before we get started, I just want to say it would mean so much if you could like and subscribe to the channel. We're working towards 300 subs by March of next year. I'd love to hit 300 on the 1 year sort of anniversary of the channel. That would mean the world to me. So if you enjoy the video, enjoy my content, like and subscribe for more of it. Let's get into it. Okay, so we'll start with the story. So I've played probably 2 hours of the story. I've played about 4 missions or something, I don't know exactly. They sort of get mumbled into one, but can I just say, the story is very slow at the start. I actually found myself quite bored with the story. I know it might be a bit of a hot take, but I have talked to a couple other people and do say the start of the game is quite slow. I think this is due to the game sort of holding your hand a bit. Because there's so many mechanics, like there's so many new things that just we haven't really seen before in games. So it sort of incorporates, hacking, combat. There's even this weird brain dance thing, but like I said, I won't spoil it. But there's just so many things that it has to introduce, and it introduces it all at the start and tries to incorporate it in sort of the story. Like there is a bit of a training camp thing you do, but it incorporates it into the story, and there's a lot of talking, a lot of being a passenger in a car, which everyone knows is not as fun as driving. That's why in GTA they always make you drive. Lots of sort of talking, dialogue, cutscenes, story heavy game, similar to The Witcher. I actually haven't played The Witcher 3, because I thought it was too cutsceney, but I'll definitely be playing it after this game. So yeah, obviously won Game of the Year. Will Cyberpunk win Game of the Year? I'm not sure yet. But back to the story. Yeah, just because it has so many mechanics and so much to introduce, you sort of feel like it's holding your hand a little bit. On top of that, it introduces you to so many different people, you sort of lose track. Like you talk to about 6 different people in the first 2 hours, and you're like, I don't know what's going on. That you're just doing missions for everyone. It just doesn't feel like you have a stake in it. Like I'm like sort of just zone out halfway through a cutscene. I forget what I'm doing. I just follow what the objectives tell me to do to get through it. I don't feel as invested in the story. So I think if they introduced it a bit slower, and there's sort of a big time gap within the story, and the very first hour of the game is this massive time gap, which I thought was a bit strange. I think that's when you should sort of build it up a little bit. Again, I'm not a game writer, I'm just saying how I felt playing the game. People might feel differently. Please feel free to leave your comments down below, leave your opinions in the comments down below. That's just how I felt. Story starts slow, but I have been told by people who are further in the game than me that it gets much better. And I'm sure it will. All I'm saying is, it feels like it's throwing us in at the deep end while it's still trying to teach us the game. So we're just learning mechanics and all these characters all at once. You know, in like Grand Theft Auto, you start with like Franklin and you meet Michael, and then it's like if it just jumps 6 months and you become besties with Michael, and then after that 6 month period, while you're still learning the game, you start doing missions for Lamar, Devin, Lester, Trevor, like all these different characters that you do missions with at the end of the game. But straight away at the start, you're like, who are all these people? Like I only met this guy named Michael like 30 seconds ago, and all of a sudden I'm meeting Devin and stuff. Like it just sort of feels like that. That's sort of the best I can explain it. But yeah, other than that, I'm excited for the story. I'm excited to see where it goes. That was just my 2 cents on it. So moving on to the map and the environment. Man, the map is huge. It's detailed. It is perfect. Like honestly, when I wasn't even sure I was going to buy this game about a week ago, so I did some research into it. 5 minutes looking into it, and I saw the city. And I saw that you could drive around in like sick looking cars, just drive around the city. I was like, done. I'll buy it just for that. And man, I do not regret it. The map is incredible. I've never seen anything like it. Every corner of this map is populated, it's detailed, it's maybe not populated, we'll get into that a bit later, but like item wise, it just feels dense, detailed. Like for example, you do a side quest, I did one before where it's like an alleyway and you climb on top of this like building, and then you just take on all these dudes on a rooftop, and it's this massive rooftop that leads to like this road at the top. It's just like a rabbit hole. You go down an alleyway and it turns out there's like this entire playable area behind there. I can't say I felt that in a side content. Like obviously in GTA you do some missions in warehouses and stuff, but it's just next level. But yeah, so 100% it's new territory in my opinion anyway. I haven't played a lot of single player story games. I've played a fair few, but I can't say I played every single one. I haven't even played Witcher 3. I don't know, that could have been the same. But this is like next level detail to me, and I'd say it's honestly worth playing the game just to go exploring. If you like exploring maps, you could just drop 90 Australian dollars on this and go exploring, and you'd struggle to remember seeing the same thing twice. Of course it probably is the same thing twice, there always is in games, but I'm telling you, they designed the trash in the trash cans in this game. That is how detailed they are. The only downside is some of the map feels very empty. I'm showing some gameplay of it now. It's still like item dense and it still looks nice, but there's just no cars, there's no people walking around. It feels very empty. I don't know if this is done on purpose. I don't know if it's because my computer can't run it, or I don't even know. But hopefully it's not always going to be empty, because it sort of ruins the immersion a little bit when you see empty streets and you're just driving around empty streets. But other than that, the map is amazing. Okay, so we're going to move on to bugs before we move on to some of the other things. And I just have to say, I have only come across one sort of major bug. I wouldn't say it was game breaking, but it was very annoying. I had a bug where I couldn't shoot my shotgun. So one of my guns I just couldn't shoot. I smashing down the left click. Lucky my brother was in the room and he looked it up, and it was because it's just a known bug. You have to restart your game. So that was a little bit annoying, but that's the only sort of major bug I've come across. I have seen like the occasional floating NPC, you know, their arms up, T-pose, but look, it's 24 hours from launch. I'm not concerned. I'm not going to lose sleep. You got to expect bugs in a new game, especially one this size. I get it's been delayed a lot of times, but I'm backing it here. It's a massive game, 24 hours after release. You know, cut some slack. But that being said, I have a recommendation. If you are going to buy this game, I have heard that some people are struggling to run it. Now, I can honestly say my computer is decent, and I'm running it on high, 60 FPS. Now, it's decent. I can put my specs on screen now. It's not the most, like, it's not like a amazing computer, like a NASA computer like other people have, but I downloaded the graphics, the NVIDIA graphics drivers, and I can say I haven't had a problem. I did get a crash while I was recording this video, but, well, that has some external factors like my recording software and stuff. So I've only had one crash, and that was an iffy crash. It wasn't me just playing the game. So yeah, bug-wise, I'm actually really happy with this launch. Bug-wise, for me, I know other people will be completely opposite and they'll be having a torrid time. But I can say install your drivers and you should be right. Obviously, turn the blind eye to the occasional few things while they iron out the bugs and put the patches in. But on the bug front, it gets a pass from me. Okay, moving on to the side content. I can honestly say, hands down, this is my favorite part of the game so far. I spent 3 out of 5 hours of me playing this game on side content. I've just been doing missions. You can do these missions for the police, right? You take down criminal operations, sort of like Far Cry Outpost, but not really. You can take down like assault. There's like hostage situations, I believe. I'm not really sure if they are hostage situations, but there's people like being taken. There's sort of like flash events like in GTA. But yeah, it's just amazing. You basically play it. You can play as a vigilante, just taking back the city, shooting up perps and stuff. It's good fun. I've been loving it. I've just been upgrading my gear. We'll get into more of that later as well. We're upgrading my equipment, my perks, and just having a whale of a time. I actually haven't even done a side mission per se yet. There's actually like missions you can do on the side. I haven't done any fixer contracts. I honestly can only say I've done the police missions, and that's just been 3 hours alone. I've just been running around taking down criminals, so that has been an absolute ball for me, exploring the city, taking down criminals, going down these rabbit holes of areas. And yeah, I would love to have more to say about the side content, but I've only done one thing and it gets a 10 out of 10 from me. I can't honestly say there's any improvement. Like I said, exploring the map with the side content is a $90 game to me anyway. Okay, so just a little side note on the side content. This isn't in the scripts, but I said there was no improvement, but there probably could be one improvement, and that is sort of a whole game mechanic of stealth. I think stealth needs a bit of a look out from the devs. It's very finicky. You get spotted randomly. Sometimes I don't see you. It's very inconsistent. I'll try and get some gameplay up now. But yeah, so stealth probably needs a bit of work. Okay, so moving on to driving. This has been a sort of a hot topic in this game. I've seen a lot of people not happy with the driving. I actually love the driving. I think the cars handle fantastic. I love the weight that they have. You know, it just encourages you to brake. You can't gun every corner or else you'll spin out or whatever. I really love the cars. I love using the handbrake, drifting around corners. It's just great. I think the cars handle fantastic. The driving feels smooth. I really appreciate the third person camera because I know it's a first person game. But I love driving in third person. I'm sure a lot of people do. That's why they put the camera there. Just one big blight with the driving in the cars here that really disappoints me because it's such a missed opportunity, and that is the inability, so I say, to not customize cars. You can't customize cars. That's what I'm trying to say. It's a massive missed opportunity. I'm honestly shattered. I just found that out when I was making this video because I thought, oh, I actually haven't seen any like shops where you can customize cars. I'll look it up. It's not in the game, and that breaks my heart, honestly. The thing is, they put so much of a focus on you using your car, like making it hard to steal other people's cars and stuff. Frankly, I haven't even done it. I've just been driving my car around for my time in the game, and then you can't even like add your own personal touch on the car. It's a bit insulting. You know, you only get this one car, but you're not able to change it. So then I can't steal other cars when I get sick of my car, but I can't change my car. I don't know. It just seems like a bit of a punch in the gut. That's my one big problem with driving, and it's a big problem to me because I love customization. So that's sort of my personal problem with it. The driving's nice, but the cars, missed opportunity. Okay, so moving on to combat. This is another thing I've seen in reviews where people don't like the gunplay. They don't like the health bars and stuff. But starting from the top, I love the melee. I haven't really used it a lot in gameplay, but when I did that training, you do like a training session. And I really, really liked using the katana. I liked using the fist. It felt really smooth. It almost felt like a boxing game, honestly. Swordplay, yep, fantastic. Guns feel amazing to shoot to me. Like, first person, it feels a bit like Call of Duty. They have a good weight to them. The bullets fly at the gun beautifully. It almost has a Far Cry feel to it too, when you run around with a pistol with a suppressor and stealth. Health bars are not a problem. I don't know who has a problem with the health bars. Like, I just don't find it a problem. I don't know why people get upset about it. But yeah, stealth kills are decent too. You sort of come up behind people, you can choose whether to kill them or take them out, just sort of knock them out. If you're doing a mission where you need to keep someone alive or whatever, I guess. But yeah, I find the combat great. I don't have a problem with it. Other people might, but I'm just saying, you adapt to combat in any game. If you like a game enough, you'll adapt to the way it's played. And yeah, again, no problems with it. So moving on to sort of the inventory side of the things, we're sort of coming towards the end of all the mechanics here. I love the stat system with the weapons and equipment. I think it's such an easy system. It feels like an RPG. You can compare weapons easily, compare equipment easy. The equipment looks good. The only thing I wish I had was gloves, because I'm a guy with white fingernails and I kind of want to change it. I just don't like it. I just want normal colors in fingernails, but I couldn't find it in the menus. But I don't like the white. Again, just personal preference. There are so many perks in the perk tree. It is insane. So you have like this, I think 5 attributes or 6. That could be, I'm not really sure, but you can upgrade them, and then within those attributes there's multiple perk trees you can choose from, and the depth of it is insane. You can build whatever sort of character build you want. There's obviously crafting in the game. I can't say I've touched crafting. I want to get into it, but I've heard it's sort of a direct replica from the Witcher 3 crafting. So if you've played Witcher and you like that crafting, then you probably fit right in with this crafting. I haven't played Witcher 3 or done crafting in this game, so I can't give my opinion on it. And I really like the drop points and the junk shops. That's where you sell all your equipment to. It's a nice, easy way to just sell equipment. You can buy it back. It's similar to the Borderlands system. That's sort of the whole game. It's just all these different components of games. Like the gunplay feels like Call of Duty and Far Cry. Hacking sort of like Watch Dogs. Borderlands, bit of Borderlands in there with the health bars and the selling. It's just like this massive combination of a game of all the top FPS shooters and stuff like that. So yeah, overall, there's a lot to keep a track of. Like there is a lot to keep track of with all the mechanics, all the sort of things you got to upgrade with your stat systems, your weapons, equipment, your perks, your attributes. A lot to keep track of, a lot to remember how to do. Like it's sort of one of those games where you might struggle if you take a couple months off and come back to your save file to play. You sort of forget how to play. Like that Matrix thing, I'm still not 100% sure how to do it. I'm sort of doing it now. Yeah, so it's a lot to keep track of. Now with the story, I think that everyone will need breaks in the main quest. I just think it's very story heavy, unless you love your story, and I know a lot of people do. So maybe this is just a minority with me here, but there's some needed breaks in the main quest where it's just so dialogue heavy and you just want to get out there and shoot people. Your breaks in the main quest will be very action packed and you won't get bored. So you go back to the main quest feeling refreshed, ready to do some great content. There's some good missions in the main quest, don't get me wrong, it's not a chore at all. Just sometimes there's a lot of information, a lot of mechanics you got to remember, but you can have some great actions where you just shoot people. It's fantastic. Big downer for me was obviously lack of car customization, but I guess I can get over it this once. Hopefully it gets added in DLC or something. Probably not, but I can hope. Like, it's just such a big... I honestly thought it would be a given. Like, even Borderlands had some level of car customization, and you literally just order a car and hit a post. Like, I thought it was a given at this point, but I'll get over it. Okay, so, on to whether I recommend the game. Honestly, I can't tell you. Reason why is because so many different people are having so many different experiences. Some people are having a torrid time with bugs. I'm not one of those people, so I'm having a pretty clean playthrough as far as bugs go. There's the occasional thing, like you know, vans popping out of nowhere as we saw earlier. Just like it, you see it in any game though. Every now and then there's a bit of a that's a bug, but for me it's not been game-breaking bugs, just that shotgun thing, which I got over pretty quickly. But yeah, honestly, I'd look into it. As long as you got the latest drivers, there's another patch out today as well, I think, so day 2 patch. I'm not 100% sure on that, don't quote me, but my brother said that there was. So all in all, they will iron out the bugs, I can guarantee that. Maybe not all of them, but the current ones, they'll iron out. They have to, it's a brand new game, it's a good developer behind it. Judging by how Witcher 3 went, I think Cyberpunk's got a bright future DLC wise. Hopefully they add the customization, a bit more customization with the cars. But that's more of a wish list than an expectation, I guess. So yeah, I would recommend this game if you enjoy other first-person shooters like Far Cry. If you have the computers to run it, obviously don't buy it if you don't have the computer to run it. Probably the safest bet is buy it on Steam so you can refund it if you can't run it or if you're not having a good time within the first couple hours. I recommend trying to go free roam as soon as possible. That's when you get a real taste for the game, because the story at the start, I know Steam's got a limited time with refunds, so if you go out and do a bunch of side content and you enjoy it, keep it, stick with it. If you're not enjoying the side content, maybe review whether you're refunded or not. But that's just my personal opinion. I'm having a blast with this game now. I've played a bunch more story missions since my sort of story section of this video, and it's picked up a little bit. But I still stand by what I said at the start. It's a weird sort of mix of tutorial and trying to be a story still. But yeah, picked up now, so first couple hours, get through it, it picks up. That being said, this video took a while to make, so please if it helps you out, leave a like and consider subscribing to the channel. I'll try and upload some more Cyberpunk videos if I think of ideas. It's already a very saturated topic, but I just wanted to get my 2 cents out in the world. So thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye bye.